Good, y'all. Welcome back to Niner Wire. I'm your host, Sam, and today we are back for yet another pregame analysis. Week 5, man. Season's just flying by. This week we play the Miami Dolphins. Third game at Levi's. We're still 0-2 at home, so gotta hopefully win this one. And to break down this game for me today, we got the one and only Joel Pettit. How you doing, Joel?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm hoping for a bounce back game for the Niners.
Yeah, for sure. So this definitely a must-win game for us. So,
yes.
I'm gonna keep saying this is a must-win game. I'm trying not to repeat myself, but this should be a great game to watch. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this one. But guys, before I get into it, make sure to follow me on Twitter at NinerWireSam. My Instagram is at NinerWire_YT, although I am extremely inactive there. So try to follow me on Twitter if you can. I'll try to get back on the Instagram. It's just Twitter's so much easier to use, guys. So that's why I've been using Twitter a lot more. But for you guys on Instagram, I'll try to get back on that just for you guys. Also, guys, gotta make sure to check out the Brawl Network. Just check out all those links there. I'm the co-host of Gridiron Brawl. We do an episode every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Although I think we're gonna move it to Thursday. Unless the Titans game gets canceled, we'll move it to Thursday. So, yeah, guys, make sure to check that out. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you name it, make sure to leave them in the live chat below. We'll get to them during the video. If you're watching after the video, I'll get to them after the video. So, yeah, man, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, let's just go through the normal progression. So, let's just start off. I mean, there's not really, storylines going into the game other than – the Niners need to win this game. Can you are there any other big storylines that you've seen?
Yeah, this is not really a huge storyline, but also because just the BS QB controversy thing. Jimmy's back, so I think it could be a good thing to prove that there should never have been any. I mean,
for sure.
Miami's defense is not super good, so I think that this should not be a huge challenge for him to have a pretty good game.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the record. The Niners since 2017 have been 5-21 without Jimmy Garoppolo, and then with Jimmy Garoppolo, they're 21-5 or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This dude is the franchise quarterback. This dude is the real deal. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what he does. He's going to want to come back with that vengeance that this team has always wanted to come back with ever since they lost the Super Bowl. So this will definitely be an entertaining game to watch. So Nick Mullins now our third-string quarterback, Beathard number 2, and Jimmy Jesus, man.
That was painful.
Feels great, baby. He's back.
That was painful to see Beathard come in and Mullins get benched.
I mean, Beathard's now QB2 though on our team. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens there. But all right, let's just get right into it with the keys of the game. So we're gonna go offense, defense for the Niners and offense, defense for the Dolphins. Just like that, the normal progression. I'll start off with the Niners offensive key of the game, and then Joel, you can go after me. My offensive key of the game is just pass game, pass game, pass game. And it's really simple. Our pass game has been terrible so far this year. I know Jimmy Garoppolo has been out, but I'm not going to make that an excuse why our pass game is so terrible. I feel like the pass game has to improve today no matter what. And it's going to be a tough challenge because Miami's secondary, they got Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, Noah Igbenogany. I know he's been struggling, but he's still a first-round pick, so you don't take that lightly. But Miami's secondary has been looking really good this year, or good so far, I guess you can say. I mean, yeah, they're 1-3. They could do better in the secondary, but it's still a decent secondary. So really, the Niners just need to take this challenge up front and just attack that secondary and make sure that their pass game is stellar today. That's really the only reason I see them, one of the only ways I see them winning this game.
I agree. I think it kind of goes with the Niners offense just sort of picking on what Miami did not do super well last week against the Seahawks. They gave up a lot of big plays in the pass. I mean, there were a couple of DK, and I don't remember one, but there was a 50-yard bomb to end the first half or something. Yeah. And I don't think Jimmy's going to be doing that kind of stuff. It's if you can get mistakes and get, 10, 15-yard gains, first downs, and if they have a mistake in coverage, I think that's going to be key. And you said, with our personnel, Debo's – Debo should be back, right? Because he was
Debo said he'll probably be back. Same with Mostert. They're likely today, but
I mean,
Yeah,
if you get
it's like a
back,
90% chance.
if you get Mostert back, that's your best back, pass catching back. If you get Debo back and, a little more, in rhythm, that's your best receiver. Kittle's coming off a monster game last game. And, I think, especially with Jimmy coming back, I mean, I think you just want to work him in and just try and, I think you want to base the offense more around the pass this game as opposed to the run.
Absolutely. And I mean, also, speaking of the Dolphins, let's talk about them. You look at Xavier Howard locked down Tyler Lockett, last game.
Oh, Lockett didn't really do anything.
He didn't do anything. I mean, I've been saying that the Seahawks don't trust Lockett that much, but I mean, they're trying to target him often. And I think last game he had like 2 targets or like 2 receptions. He didn't do anything last game.
No.
So, I mean, yeah, they Xavier Howard, man, that guy is one of the most underrated players in this league. So, that is one of my key players today, Xavier Howard, because I think he definitely could cause the Niners some troubles with the passing game. Obviously, Debo should be playing. Our receiving core is basically healthy now because Richie James also, I believe, is back today. Or they might have elevated him to the practice squad to just get some reps. I forget what it was, but Richie James is back, which is good to see after that hamstring injury week 1, I believe it was. So, yeah, for sure. Pass game, definitely my offensive key of the game. You got the same thing, or do you got something else?
No. I mean, I think it's just kind of focusing on the pass and getting Jimmy back in groove.
Yeah, for sure. And guys, don't take me wrong. Like, this is not saying like we can't run the ball, because personally, I think Miami's run defense isn't that great. Like, Chris Carson went off against them. James Robinson went off against them. Cam Newton went off against them. Josh Allen went off against them. So all mobile guys that are doing pretty well against this Miami defense. So I think the run game, there shouldn't be too many problems in our run game today. So that's why I'm saying like pass game, because if they can get the pass game down and the run game down, come together, boom, game over. It's that simple.
I don't give Miami really much of a chance.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so since you don't have an offensive key of the game, you're going with me. Not much more to say about the offense unless you got anything else.
I got nothing else.
Perfect. All right, so let's move on to the Niners defense. My defensive key of the game. Actually, how about you start? Because I have kind of a little bit of a different defensive key of the game.
Okay. My defensive key to the game is getting QB pressure because especially against Philly has a banged up O-line when we played them. And there were times we could get pressure, but there were also times that Wentz got away and just did some crazy BS to get first down. So,
for sure.
I trust Fitzpatrick a little less. He's prone to, make some kind of erratic plays. So I think if we can get some pressure, get some hits, make him feel uncomfortable, I think that'll definitely make things a lot easier for us.
Yeah, and not to mention their left tackle, Austin Jackson, who is the 18th overall pick in the draft, is now on IR. I don't know who's starting let me see who's going to be the left tackle starter. So if I go Dolphins depth chart, I have no clue who this. The only people I really know on this Dolphins offensive line are Austin Jackson, Solomon Kinley, the rookie out of Georgia. He's the left guard, I believe. So it's going to be it's like Julian Davenport. Julian spelled Julie 'N. So I've never heard of him. They also have Eric Flowers, who has been looking a lot better at guard this year. Still not the best guard, but there's definitely a lot that this offensive line could improve on. So I think this is definitely a challenge. It's not really a challenge, I should say. It's definitely a great opportunity for us.
It's something that we got to take advantage of.
Exactly. And our pressure has been okay. It hasn't been noticeable though. That's the thing.
No,
we're pressuring the quarterback, but once they're out of pocket, it's kind of hard to get to them. And we haven't been doing that many. We haven't had that many sacks. I think. And guys, this is why I've been saying all along that D Ford is the X factor to this defense. This dude, he has been pressuring, whenever he's in, our pressure looks stellar. And now that he's out, our pressure hasn't been looking that good so far. Against the Jets, against the Giants, against the Eagles, our pressures look pretty bad. Even against the Cardinals, to be fair, it was a mobile quarterback, but still though. I've been saying D Ford's the X factor of this D for a while now. It could be Buckner, could be Bosa, but I feel like it's D Ford, and that's the loss of D Ford has been hurting us a lot more than I think you think it would. So, Yeah, for sure. You got anything else about the pressure or anything before I say mine?
Like you've been saying, I mean, I think I think the main losses that people are looking at is, Bosa being done for the year, and obviously Buckner now being in Indianapolis. But I myself had kind of, I wouldn't say disregarded, but forgotten how important and how big of a difference Ford makes when he's in the game.
Yeah, and you're not alone. I think a lot of people that just completely forgetting about how big of an impact D Ford is making to this team. So, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, we got to trade D Ford. I'm like, first of all, you're not going to get that much value for him considering his injury history.
Yeah.
Second of all, he's a crucial part to the team. And third of all, he's a pretty damn good player. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I personally, I'm not trading D Ford, even though despite that big contract, which I do think he is a bit overpaid, but still, he is a crucial part to this team. So, yeah, nothing really to complain there. All right. My defensive key is a bit different to the game. It's my defensive key is to keep Ryan Fitzpatrick in this game and not let him succeed, but just keep him in the game. Because personally, if Tua Tagovailoa is in this game, I think that the Dolphins are going to win this game. Because this Niners D cannot handle mobile quarterbacks just for shit. So, I mean, yeah, if Tua's in this game, if he gets out of the pocket, he's just going to run it up our asses the entire game. We cannot let that happen today. So if you keep Ryan Fitzpatrick in this game, that will be phenomenal. And the best way to do that is it's just simple. Like attack his protection, attack his weapons, attack him, but like make sure that he's the guy making good throws. It's our defense that is stepping up today and making an impact and doing what they need to do. So covering his weapons, covering his receivers and tight ends, covering his running backs, I guess, when they had the ball, pressuring him, like attacking that offensive line, as you just said. Make sure that his struggles today are not his fault. Therefore, he stays in this game. Tua doesn't come in. And I know Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't on a small leash, really. I feel like they're going to kind of stick with him throughout the year. But if he's really struggling today, which I'm kind of hoping it's not. I feel like it's the other guys around him that are struggling. That's what we're really hoping for today. But if he's struggling and Tua comes in, we may see some struggles in this defense. So I'm fine if Tua comes in, if it's like a large lead. But frankly, I do think it's going to be a close game. Miami has been keeping it close with teams like New England, Buffalo, Seattle. And then they crushed Jacksonville. So this team is definitely an underrated team. They've had a really rough start to their schedule. And now they come into San Francisco, play this 2-2 team that's beat up. This is going to be a very close game. So Tua coming in may not look good.
I like that. I definitely think that the prospect of playing Tua, who obviously is supposed to be crazy mobile, a lot more mobile than Fitzpatrick, obviously, is a lot scarier. And I think that if you kind of make it so the guys around him are failing as opposed to him failing, that'll keep him in the game longer. So I agree with what you're saying. I think that's a good key.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a bit outside of the box, but I think, yeah, it's mainly just, it's kind of, in other words, let me just put it in other words, it's just like lock up everything, like lock down the corners and pressure. It's the two things that like you need to do to win the game. Just like, Make sure the quarterback doesn't struggle, but everyone else struggles. Because if that happens, I mean, we saw it. I believe, what game was it last year? I think it was the Atlanta game where, it was the Seattle game where Jimmy was balling out and the receivers couldn't do shit. And then we lost that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and by the way, like Jadeveon Clowney, like fathered us that game too. So, I mean, the Seahawks did it to us week 10 last year. We got to do it to Miami week 5 this year. So that's simple. All right. You got anything else about the defense, offense, anything about the Niners keys that we should look at today?
Nope.
Yeah. All right. I don't really got anything. It's pretty straightforward with the Niners, but I mean, obviously when we talk about the Dolphins keys, like the opposite will be there for the Niners, but let's just move in right to the Dolphins keys to the game. So my offensive key for this Miami team is protect Ryan Fitzpatrick. Kind of going off like the Niners defensive key, how they should be pressuring Ryan Fitzpatrick. You said pressure was your defensive key to the Niners. Protecting Ryan Fitzpatrick's definitely going to be a huge key for Miami because if they do that, the Niners can't achieve that key to the game that they need to do. and Miami's going to look really good. I mean, we've really struggled, I'm going to keep saying this. We've been struggling with no Bosa, no Ford. And again, kind of going off my point, if Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tua, whoever's in the game, can get out of the pocket, they're going to do some big things. We saw it with Carson Wentz, who's not known to be a mobile quarterback. Like, he got out of the pocket. He was making big plays out of the pocket. This team cannot control big plays out of the pocket. I mean, I don't know what it is. I think it's just that we don't have that much speed rushing. But yeah, man, we got to contain Ryan Fitzpatrick out of the pocket. So if Miami can protect him, that would be really great. And then it's just going to be like the Niners are going to be struggling if they can't get to Ryan Fitzpatrick, because I mean that's really how their secondary has been working a lot this year or in the past few years. Like the pressure just gets to the quarterback. They can't do shit, and then they just throw a bad pass. Niners do something with it. So. Yeah, man. I think, protecting the quarterback is definitely the biggest key to the game for the Miami Dolphins.
Offensively? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's the primary thing. If I had to throw in another factor is that Niners corners are pretty banged up. You know, Sherman's hurt. Quan Williams just got put. Did he just get put on IR?
Yeah, Kalen's going to be put on IR. We should be starting if Witherspoon's questionable too. So it's going to be Verrett and either Akello Witherspoon or I don't even know who the other. I think it's let me pull it. I forget his name, but
I mean, needless to say, the Niners are banged up at corner.
Exactly. It's going to be Ken Webster.
Yeah.
Who I guarantee you most people have never heard of. So I mean, I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised if you haven't heard who Ken Webster is. So yeah, man, I definitely think that this Niners team, like their secondary is going to be beat up. So. Yeah. Ryan, like it kind of goes off the pressure. Like if Fitzpatrick has time to throw, he's going to throw to whether it's Devontae Parker, who by the way has been balling out this year. Gesicki, he's been up and down, but I have really high hopes for Mike Gesicki this week, or just this year in general. But Niners have handled tight ends. Yeah, Niners have handled tight ends pretty well, so that's always a good sign. But and then Preston Williams, another guy who I had as one of my big breakout candidates this year. So. There's a lot of weapons in Miami that this Niners team has to cover, not to mention the running back committee. You're going to see a lot of guys taking those snaps at running back. You might have to cover those guys. Matt Breida revenge game today too. Didn't mention that, but man,
can be a pass catcher.
Yeah, I mean, everyone can be a pass catcher on that team. So the Niners definitely have to lock up everyone on that team. So if Miami can execute the passing game well, then the Niners are going to be screwed. Niners run game, I got to say, against running backs has looked pretty good this year so far. But, I mean, to be fair, like we've played – I mean, Kenyon Drake's pretty okay.
But he's had a pretty bad start this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants and the Jets, I think you can, like, move on from that because that was, like –
Sanders, he didn't have a great game.
He didn't have a great game. So, I mean, the Niners run game has been pretty good so far, so – I would not be surprised if you see a lot of passes going to these Dolphins receivers and running backs. So definitely something to keep an eye on today for sure. So yeah. All right. You want to start with the defensive key again?
No, I'll let you start with this one.
You want me to start? All right. So my defensive key for the Dolphins it's pretty simple. And I think you're going to see a lot of this with all the teams I've been predicting this year. I've already been noticing a pattern. It's just stopping the run because this Niners run game has just been so lethal. Miami doesn't have the best run D. If I pull up their run D stats, let me see. Where are they? So Miami actually has a pretty good defense this year. They're 10th ranked according to this one team. So they're rushing it. Yeah, they're rushing touchdowns. They're 30th in rushing touchdowns. Rushing yards, they're 20th. Rush attempts, 15th. Their pass D is a lot better in my opinion. Their defense is mediocre at best, but yeah, man, this team definitely their run D, they got to step it up a little bit there. So, yeah, for sure. So definitely stopping the run today is my big key to this game. I mean, Mostert's back. You're going to have McKinnon still. Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely really it's stopping the run. I always keep saying this. Stopping the run is going to be the key to the game for a lot of teams. Also, not to mention Miami's defense is 30th in red zone touchdown percentage. So if the Niners get in the red zone, they're going to have to execute on the run or in the pass game, whatever it is. But if the Dolphins, I mean, the Niners are going to get into the red zone with their run game. So Dolphins definitely got to make a big stop with that. make sure that the run game stops for this Niners team?
If I had a key, it would probably be preventing damage that backs can do in the receiving game. And that kind of plays into like more linebacker play of like, because the line is going to be focused more on just stopping initial runs. So, because I mean, Mostert and McKinnon can do a lot of damage off of like, short kind of like, be it screens, be it like, any play where it's just
and not to mention also jet sweeps too. We run a lot of those with Debo, Ayuk. The Ayuk play was technically a rushing touchdown, the hurdle. But I mean, yeah, man, they're gonna use the Niners. Oh, it's always such a unique scheme that the Niners have, because they're gonna throw some crazy thing at you. Like you might see like Debo Samuel like jet sweep touchdown like he did in Seattle. You may see Brandon Ayuk jet sweep touchdown. You might see McKinnon like a 70-yard reception or something like that. They're going to throw a lot of things at you today. So definitely stopping that run game I think stopping the run game, if you can stop the run game, that's always a huge plus. But the Niners are going to do whatever they can to get around that. So that's another reason why they have to do that. Also, another thing I forgot to mention about the Niners, do you have anything else about that, Key? By the way,
just to sort of summarize it, just like adaptability of the linebacker core, just to adjust
absolutely.
The Niners try and throw at you when it comes to running the ball.
Yeah, let me hold on one second. I just want to pull up the Dolphins depth chart to just share the starting linebackers. I know Kyle Van Noy is one of them. Yeah, I mean we don't watch the Dolphins that much. They're an AFC East team, so. Yeah, so their linebackers today, they run a 3-4 scheme. So you're gonna see three defensive linemen, pretty big guys, and then you're gonna see the outside linebackers. So you got Kyle Van Noy, Jerome Baker, Landon Roberts, and then Shaq Lawson's out. So I don't know who's gonna be at the will linebacker, but it's a 3-4 scheme. So definitely will be interesting to watch today from that linebacker core. But one thing I completely forgot to mention that we haven't talked about at all, the offensive line for the 49ers needs to step it up today.
Oh my God.
After last week,
got absolutely worked in that last game. He had like 2 penalties and he just got straight up beat like once or twice.
I mean, Trent Williams, that could have been his worst game of his career.
Yeah.
Mike McGlinchey has been looking terrible so far. Brunskill has not looked good. Laken Tomlinson's inconsistent. This offensive line, besides Ben Garland, I think has been doing a pretty good job so far.
No, Ben Garland has been probably the most consistently good. Like, I mean, the interior hasn't gotten blown up that much. Like, Ben Garland's been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I'm the guy that usually says that PFF doesn't mean shit. So I'm not really taking this into factor too much, but I know some of my fans or some people watching right now do take PFF in the shit. But Laken Tomlinson, Daniel Brunskill, 46th and 48th amongst 49 guards.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So they got it. And like, I'm already like, last night, I was already looking at like, I mean, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I was tweeting out, here's a guy that we can look at for the draft, Alex Leatherwood, tackle out of Alabama who can play guard. Like I'm already like preparing to replace these guards at this point. Like, and it's week 5 of the season, by the way. So
yeah, that's concerning.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely concerning when these guys were really hyped up going into the season. We trusted Brunskill. We didn't make that much improvement at guard because we believed in Brunskill. We could have gone with Colton McKivitz. We could have taken another guard earlier. There was a guy on Michigan. I forget what his name was that I really wanted to draft, but we went Colton McKivitz instead. Also could have taken there was definitely some good guards in the draft. I don't know where they went or where they ended up, but we definitely could have taken someone there. Instead, we go Colton McKivitz, stick with Brunskill. Tomlinson struggles I don't get really. I think that could be because it's not Richburg at center. I think it's just like he just needs to get used to the scheme a little bit. He hasn't made that adjustment yet, but I think he can step it up a little bit.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, so definitely the offensive line for the Niners definitely
improve.
Yeah, definitely needs to step it up. And also, I mean, I didn't even mention them for my key players, which are about to go into. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be something under the radar today that has to happen. So, yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get into key players. Let's just go for the Niners key players. I got a few guys for this. I have a lot of cores that you got to go over for the Niners today. So I'm not going to name everyone, but the key players I have, Jimmy Garoppolo is back from the injury. Always interested to see what he does today. He's like the QB1. That quarterback controversy, as Joel said, is gone. So no need to worry about that. Raheem Mostert also back from his injury after that week 2. I believe he sprained his MCL, so he'll be back. That's a key part to our defense. There's a lot of other guys back. Dre Greenlaw as well. I didn't put him on my list.
Greenlaw's back? Nice.
Yeah, Greenlaw's back today. So Witherspoon could be back. There's a lot of guys that are going to be back today. But I'm going to highlight Jimmy G and Mostert. I feel like those two have made the biggest impact on this team so far. Greenlaw is also going to help out a lot, by the way. So definitely keep an eye out for him. And going off my Niners offensive key point, I just said pass game, pass game, pass game. You know that the wide receivers and the tight ends need to step it up today because there's no one in particular who I have highlighted because everyone's been mess so far besides George Kittle, who's been playing out of his mind like he always does. So everyone on that tight end core, everyone on that receiving core needs to step it up today. So yeah, and then defensive line, I'm going to highlight Eric Armstead today. I feel like he needs to step it up a bit more along with this defensive line. So I'm hoping Eric Armstead can step it up today. It's a great opportunity for him to do that. So keep an eye out for him. Akello Witherspoon in the cornerback core. So Witherspoon or what's his? I'm already Webster, I believe is his name.
You're already forgetting it.
Yeah, I'm already forgetting it, man. Jason Verrett. And then Jamar Taylor should be starting in place of Kalen Williams. So definitely keep an eye out for him today if the Niners run a nickel set.
My key players, kind of what you were touching on, offensive line. I mean, as much as like the guards have been a little more inconsistent, I mean, they're also a bit unproven. Trent Williams was definitely disappointing last game. If I had to pick a specific one out of the offensive line, it would be him. I mean, I think he needs to step it up. I mean, just be it penalties, straight up getting beat. I mean, he's just got to be better. And I get Philly has a pretty good pass rush, but he's supposed to be like an elite lineman, and that just can't happen if you want to win games. Like defensive line, I think I like the highlight of Armstead. I mean, I think he's been pretty good, but I think he can be better. And this is a good chance against, a pretty mid to offensive line. I would go, if I had to pick one other main thing, I would definitely say the receivers, because I think that with Debo being back, I think that's going to be good to look at. And I think that what are you're smiling at some
no, I'll tell you after. Go ahead. Okay. I'll tell you after.
And Debo's back, and I mean, I think it's just since we're going to be, and with Jimmy being back too, I think that kind of go hand in hand. Like just trying to dominate not dominate, but trying to focus a little more on the pass game in general. And
absolutely. I mean, pass game is going to be. I can't stress enough that pass game today is going to be a crucial part to our win if we win, and if we're not going to do it, expect Miami to win this game. I mean. This team is not looking like that Super Bowl contender we were looking like right now. This team is looking like a wild card team at best. Like the Seattle, I think at this point, I think it's safe to say Seattle's going to win this division. As much as it pains me to say that, I think Seattle's going to win this division. This team just doesn't like. I mean, Rohit and I talked about it on postgame last week. This team isn't making adjustments when our players are going down. This team doesn't really look like they kind of look like a shell of themselves last year. And it's really reminding me of that 2018 Eagles team, the year after they won the Super Bowl, where they were overconfident. They weren't making adjustments to all their injuries, and they finished 9-7. So, I mean, they definitely got to make some adjustments to this team. But, okay, the thing I was smiling about, we were talking about the fantasy right before, and then I offer him the deal. He just comes back with a way worse one. So I'm gonna hop on my phone's charging right now. But hey, Luke, if you're watching this stream, absolutely not. So
shouldn't get greedy when you need a running back.
We obviously talk fantasy a lot. By the way, guys, if you want fantasy analysis, I might as well just throw this in here. Make sure to check out Fantasy Hall Monitor on Podbean. I've done some with Jake. He's the host of the podcast. Done some episodes with him. You'll find the link there. I don't have it in my banners right now or in the description because I wasn't planning to talk about that. But if you guys want fantasy analysis, make sure to check out Fantasy Hall Monitor. It's going to be the best place to get that. You're going to hear from me. It should be converted to YouTube soon too. So make sure to subscribe to that. He's going to be on YouTube soon. So I will make sure to put that out there when it starts. I don't know if it's going to be a live stream, but I think he was trying to like do the podcast on Podbean, then convert it to YouTube. But yeah, guys, make sure to check that out. I've made so many tweets about that podcast. So you guys, I mean, you just Twitter, other YouTube videos, Instagram, make sure you can find it anywhere. So make sure to check it out. Fantasy Hall Monitor on Podbean. All right, let's move in. Do you have anything else about the Niners key players?
Nothing else with the Niners key players.
All right, perfect. So let's move on to the Dolphins key players. So obviously the opposing key players are a bit harder for me to do because obviously I'm a Niners fan. I follow the Niners. Fuck, I just dropped my AirPods case on accident. My bad. But all right, Dolphins key players. Let's get on topic. So first guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And it's really, in my opinion, it's a win-win situation for the Dolphins here because if the Niners can't stop him, Miami wins this game. If they can stop him and he's looking bad, Tua comes in, Miami wins this game. So it's really a win-win situation for the Dolphins. It's going to be very interesting to see how Ryan Fitzpatrick does against this team, what the Dolphins do with him, and if they take him out or do anything with that. So he's not really a key to the game, but it's just like a player. It's a player you have to watch today, and that's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Another guy, wide receivers and tight end cores, same as the Niners, really. I'm kind of going off the Niners defensive key, just keeping Fitzpatrick in this game. Their weapons got to step it up for Miami if the Dolphins want to win, because if Fitzpatrick's in this game, their weapons aren't doing shit. Then Miami loses this game. So wide receivers, tight ends, got to make a big impact today. And then the offensive line for Miami, as we said, Austin Jackson's on IR. Julian Davenport's the starting guy, I think. So, yeah, he's going to have to step it up against this Niners pass rush. Who, by the way, I know we've been talking about how bad this pressure is. Let's not take this Niners pass rush for shit. They still have Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, Kerry Hyder, who has been balling out so far.
Awesome. He's been awesome.
He's been balling out. DJ Jones, that monster. So, I mean, don't take this Niners D-line for shit, man. I'm not saying it's a bad D-line whatsoever when I say, oh, we can't pressure the quarterback. Also look at Kyle Van Noy. Joel, you talked about the linebacker core. He's one of their linebackers I know for sure is going to be playing today and have to make a big impact. So look out for Kyle Van Noy. And then the cornerback core. So let's talk about Byron Jones back from his injury. I believe he was out last week. So he's going to be back. Definitely interesting to see what he's going to do after that pinnacle season last year. Xavier Howard obviously balled out last week against Tyler Lockett. Hopefully he can do that again for Miami. And then Noah Igbenogany, on the other hand, has been really struggling so far in his first 4 games. This is a great opportunity for him to step it up against a weak Niners pass game.
If I had to go into key players, I'd definitely say Fitzpatrick and the whole kind of like QB tandem that they have is going to be key because, like, I think your win-win analogy kind of fits. If, Fitzpatrick's not really doing it, they bring in a mobile quarterback to tear us up. If Fitzpatrick's, kind of lighting us up and making plays, then, they're winning. He's playing well. Going more specifically into the receiving core, the two, probably biggest names, I think, are 2 key X factors. I mean, I think if Devontae Parker can get matched up one-on-one with some of our, weaker cornerback, that could definitely pose some trouble. And Gesicki, I think he's been a little, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has 1 reception over his last, 1 reception in each of the last 2 games. I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, I would know. I fucking have him in fantasy. And so, we've been pretty good defending against tight ends. So I think that if they could get, stepped up, an improved contribution from him, that would be greatly welcomed.
For sure.
And then looking at the linebacker core, Shaq Lawson being out, I mean, he was really good against Seattle. I think whoever his replacement is, I think he's going to have to keep it up if they want to, kind of hold the Niners like they, for the most part, held Seattle outside of some pretty big plays. Yeah,
I mean, if they held Seattle, they're more than capable of holding this Niners team. It's not much. And we'll get into the score prediction. I'm going to say it's a close game, but we'll get into the score prediction right after. I just want to say right now, you talk about Mike Gesicki on your fantasy team. I mean, even though like he did struggle last week, I still have very high hopes for him.
Oh no, there's no reason I haven't cut him. I still have hope.
Yeah, no, I think this game could be a big game for him. I mean, you saw him against Buffalo week 2, balled out. This could definitely be a big game for him. Obviously, the Niners are pretty good against the tight end, so I'm not expecting this to be too big of a game, but we'll definitely see. But I also just I know we've been bashing you all along in your team, but you've been pretty. Okay, yeah, no, I was about to say you've been pretty good at waiver wire and shit. So
no, I've gotten Gesicki, I've gotten Robbie Anderson.
Dude, awesome. I was gonna pick up Robbie Anderson. I went with Joshua Kelly instead because I needed a running back. What?
I mean, that's worked out for you.
It's worked out for me, okay, but yeah, man. I mean, Robbie Anderson, I want him badly. But yeah, that's a good pickup. You got someone else. Oh, you got Burrow.
I got Burrow. I got who did I get? I got a pretty good back out of it. I got
Gaskin. You got Gaskin.
I got Gaskin, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, your waiver wire has been pretty good. Trades on the other hand, let's just not talk about that.
He's been questionable at times.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that was kind of like Saj last year, where he was terrible draft, picked up terrible waiver wire. What? Oh, his trades were okay, but he was
awful at picking waiver wire.
What?
He was awful on waiver wire.
No, he was great at waiver wire. That's how he got 7th. That he was like dead last throughout most of the year, and then finished in 7th. So, yeah. Wait, who are you playing this week?
Max. I have a chance.
Max. Okay, yeah, you definitely have a chance. He made a big trade yesterday. He got Mixon. So
he got Mixon.
You didn't see? He made a trade with. He got Mixon and more. He got Mixon and more for Thielen and Keenan.
Oh.
So. You need a running back badly. So I mean,
that's he gave up a lot though. He gave up 2 of his 3 best receivers.
That is true, but
I mean, yeah, he still has. Who are his receivers now? Moore and Allen Robinson. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Allen Robinson was. I think he had a pretty good week. I forget how many points he put up.
He had 19. He's been
19. Good. Yeah, he's been really good so far. I mean, in that Bears receiving core, he's really the only guy there. So what?
I said for Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, for Chicago. So, yeah, for sure. All right, we got 8 minutes until kickoff for the early games. Let's just get right. Oh, and also 8 minutes until 7 minutes now. So 7 minutes until the kickoff for the early games. 7 minutes until Luke needs to get a running back. Let's move into the score predictions. So, as I've been saying, this is going to be a pretty close game. This is also a must-win game for the 49ers. We said last week was must-win game. They didn't do that. This is must-win game. Period. You cannot have Seattle be 5-0, which I believe they will be 5-0 after this week. I believe the Rams are going to win this week. Yeah, I believe that Seattle is going to be 5-0. The Rams are going to be 4-1, and Arizona, I believe they are playing they're playing the Jets, so they're going to be 3-2 too. So you cannot be 2-3 in this division. Period. You have to win this game. Period. There's no debate. They have to win this game. And I think they're going to do it. I think it's going to be a 23-14 game. I think the defense is going to get the upper hand, and in the end, the Niners have a bit of more of a superior D. I think the Niners are going to take this game and get this key win. So Niners 23, Dolphins 14. Niners move on to 3-2, headed into the Sunday night game, which will probably be Sunday night, unless I think we were talking about this in one of the chats last night on Twitter. The Niners-Rams Sunday night is obviously the game I want, but America deserves Bills-Chiefs if the Titans game happens on Tuesday.
Oh, that'd be that'd be
because if the Titans game doesn't happen on Tuesday, then it'll be Bills-Chiefs on Thursday. So, and if it does happen, it'll be moved to Sunday. So we'll see what happens there. But 23-14, the 49ers win. That's my score prediction.
You say 23-14?
Mm-hmm.
My original prediction was 24-17. So very similar.
Very similar.
I think it's gonna be a pretty close game. I think we'll win. I think it'll be one of those ones where it's like, how does this compare to a game last year? Like, not like, in a way similar to that Rams game down to the end of the season, like especially where like it was close and not necessarily even that the Dolphins pull ahead, but that we just make 2 or 3 like really big plays down the end, which just leads, because it's not the same, because we were down in the, were we tied or were we down?
Against the
Rams, because there was the 2 third and long.
Which ran the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were down and then we came back.
It
was a back and forth game. That's all I remember. It was a back and forth. I think we started down, then we tied it, and then we like kind of pulled away. It was a very back and forth game.
It was a very back and forth game. I am picturing it being like that game, and that both teams kind of throw haymakers, and that it's pretty close the whole time that we pull ahead down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it's going to be a shootout.
No, I don't think it's going to be crazy high scoring.
It's not going to be high scoring because both teams have pretty good offenses, but I think the Niners are going to win this game. It's going to be a very close game. And if the Niners don't win this game, I think it's time to hit the panic button.
Oh, yes. Panic button. No. Oh, panic button was like somewhat like, like lightly tapped when we lost the Eagles.
It was like lightly tapped. If we go down 2-3,
if we have a
last in the NFC West with a 5-0 Seattle that you have to face,
slapping the panic button.
Panic button has been right there. And then, yeah, I mean, that's really all we got to say. So, yeah. All right. You got anything else before I end the stream?
If the Niners somehow lose, I am going to be the shit that Nate is going to say is going to make me so angry.
Joel, you want, if the Niners lose, I'll just pick you up. We'll just drive to the Golden Gate Bridge.
And we'll jump off.
We've been talking about it in the chat, like, how if we lose, it's not going to be good. But yeah, man, we got to win this game for sure. So, yeah, as Grant just said right here, 3-2 today.
G-Shmoney?
Oh, G-Shmoney, yes, sir. 3-2 today. That's all we got to say. Dom agrees with that. We agree with that. So we'll leave it at that. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for tuning into the stream. I know these pregame streams are a bit earlier. I got a work conflict at 10:30, so that's why we're doing a bit earlier than usual. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in. You guys dedicating your time to me. It means a lot. I'll be tweeting a lot during the game. So once again, make sure to follow me on Twitter at NinerWireSam. We'll be tweeting a lot during the game, talking about the game with y'all. So should be fun. Make sure to tune into that. Post game will be at 4:30 today. I don't think Joel's going to be able to get on that, correct?
No, I got that.
So it'll just be me on post game again. So make sure to tune into that. That should be right after the game, around 4:30-ish or whenever the game ends. So anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Go Niners.